Many Republicans, including the Texas governor, have been critical of the jail sentence for the Dallas salon owner who defied state and local orders by reopening her salon. There seems to be a partisan divide over that part of the sentence for Shelley Luther, who was also fined $7,000. Some Democrats who've commented point out other cases of incarceration that nobody has a problem with. But the story is getting a lot of national attention as well and drew former vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin to that salon today. It was open again, by the way. Fox 4's David Santendri joining us live with more. David.
Good evening, Steve. Salon a la Mode's owner is currently behind bars, but her employees are still cutting hair. In fact, I spoke with one of them today who says they did about 40 clients today. They've done hundreds so far. This is certainly a polarizing topic, and it's turning very political. People are still showing up to Salon a la Mode in far north Dallas. There are continued signs of support for owner Shelley Luther, who was booked into the Dallas County Jail Tuesday. Luther is serving a 7-day sentence for violating government orders by reopening her salon during the pandemic. State District Judge Eric Moyer gave Luther an opportunity to avoid jail time and only have to pay a fine if she apologized, declare herself, quote, selfish, and promise not to reopen her salon until she was allowed to do so. Luther defiantly declined.
Also, we need to pay the bill. We need to feed our children.
Luther's stylists say they've been doing hundreds of haircuts. The polarizing topic even brought former Republican vice presidential candidate and Alaska Governor Sarah Palin to the salon, who employees say dropped off a donation Tuesday. Opinions on the jail sentence seem to fall along party lines. Republican Governor Greg Abbott calls it excessive.
Our response was it's too much.
Republican Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton called the sentence a, quote, shameful abuse of judicial discretion, which seems like another political stunt in Dallas. Judge Moyer, who calls himself a lifelong Democrat on his website, has not weighed into the politics, but Luther's attorney is no stranger to high-profile or politically charged issues. Warren Nared is a member of the state Republican Executive Committee and has represented open carry advocates and clients who sued Texas cities over Confederate monument removals. Judge Moyer and Norad clashed during the hearing.
Sit down and be quiet. I am not through speaking. Do not say another word while I'm speaking, and you will not interrupt me again in this court, Mr. Norad.
Democrats like State Rep Joe Moody of El Paso have taken a side. He tweeted, salon owner sentenced to 7 days in jail equals outrage. Ignoring the plight of thousands of inmates in jails and prisons in Texas equals business as usual. I'm growing weary of the righteous indignation of folks who never once gave a second thought to the incarcerated. But Judge Moyer and the 12 duly Texas civil judges in Dallas County collectively fired back at the Attorney General, saying in a letter that his statements go against the Texas Code of Judicial Conduct, adding, quote, in this context, for you to urge a judge towards a particular substantive outcome in this matter is most inappropriate and equally unwelcome.
Our governor executed orders that were put in place. And part of the balancing system here is that Judge Moyer, as a trial judge, is to enforce those orders if they're constitutional.
Jim Grau is a member of the American Board of Trial Advocates. They speak for judges who cannot speak publicly.
He followed the rule of law, and that's what he's supposed to do.
Fox 4 also took this legal debate to SMU constitutional law professor Dale Carpenter.
Claims of liberty wouldn't even exist unless we can have a rule of law that enforces some kind of order. People can't just decide for themselves whether or not they want to obey it.
Carpenter says since the governor's order to close salons was constitutional, so was the judge's decision to enforce it. He says judges weigh many options when sentencing.
Shelley Luther actually has the key to open her prison cell, and she can do so simply by agreeing that she's not going to defy the law until, of course, the governor opens up the salons.
As for the back and forth between some politicians,
you don't want to have decisions about who can violate the law and who can't violate the law based on politics. You would never want that. You wouldn't want that if you had a Republican in office. You wouldn't want that if you had a Democrat in office.
According to the governor's order, salons are scheduled to reopen on Friday, so if all stays the same, Luther will be behind bars while her stylists legally cut hair. Now, it's no secret that this story has gained all sorts of national attention, and to put things into perspective, a GoFundMe account was set up for Luther, and it's already gained more than $450,000.